Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining our session with regards to taking your business into global and how you find business buyers in the international market. My name is Marsh Fernando. I'm the head of business operations for O2O Events Australia, and welcome all of you for this session. And I'm more than happy to share our ingredients in terms of helping you to take your business into global market. So I'm going to go on full screen and start the presentation. And feel free to put in your questions, queries in the chat box in your video screen there. So what we're talking about today is a little bit of an intro to business organizations. So our parent company is called Digital Media Solutions. We are recognized as one of the top 100 ICT businesses in Australia, and we've operated in 24 plus countries through our own operations as well as our business partner networks. We work with over 100 plus global clients, and our clientele is growing. Of course, with a gross revenue of about close to about 4 million US dollars in the last financial year. And we use our own technology. We have O2O Connect, which is the business matchmaking and buy connect service, which we are talking about today. Just to give you a little bit of an overview about business matchmaking and buy connect services portfolio, we do something like 1,500 meetings per month and about 50 to 60 meetings per day for various clients covering multiple regions. Now, if you want more information about our buy connect services, you can visit o2leads.com at your convenience. And we've also used our own proprietary technology, and predominantly we use our own video conferencing tools. So O2O Meet is our own video conferencing and networking platform. Using O2O Meet, we enable one-to-one video calls, group sessions, and webinars. For more information, you can visit o2events.com. We also have our own virtual events platform. Our virtual events platform is branded as O2O Live, which is a comprehensive platform that enables any trade show, exhibition, or conference organizer to conduct any of their events completely virtual. It's a seamless all-in-one solution. For more information, you can visit o2events.com once again. Now, just jumping into our conversation today, just wanted to share some information with regard to world trade as to what's happening in the year 2020 as well as moving into year 2021. I think it's no brainer, as you can see here, the steady trade volumes have obviously dipped in the year 2020 as a result of the pandemic. You also see that trade GDP is also on a declining trend. Now, according to World Trade Organization, the governing body that tracks and facilitate global trade, the world trade is expected to fall by about 13 to 32% as COVID-19 pandemic disrupts normal economic activity and life around the world. So this is no brainer. So let's look at what's really happening. So in 2021, WTO expect there would be some sort of recovery, but depending on how different countries respond to the outbreak, nearly all regions will suffer double-digit declines in trade volumes. Obviously, that has happened in 2020, and it all depends how we sort of plan out for 2021. The trade will likely to fall steeper in sectors with complex value chains, particularly electronics, automotive products, and various other products and services. Obviously, transport and travel restrictions would have a big bearing on this. Um, the only commercial services such as video calling and with the various IT services have had a bit of upward trend. So all of this is basically telling us one thing: we need to have a solution. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we are tabling to you today, is basically how we would help you, or we would provide you the keys to take your business to global markets. This is a very simple, trusted, and proven service that we offer to our customers. Now, whom are we looking at? Anybody who basically wants to sell their products. Now, you could be representing a trade chamber, you could be an event exhibition organizer, or simply you're an export oriented business entity or an entrepreneur who's looking for finding international markets and buyers. Right, what is our service? So we basically, O2O Connect is a dedicated service where we can tap business buyers on behalf of our customers, that's yourselves, and then we organize specific one-to-one business meetings for you. All right, so why business meetings? Obviously no brainer. Once again, in today's context, it's hard to meet buyers. You can't simply physically go and meet. We used to do this prior to the pandemic, but we can't do it now. So what we do instead, we bring the buyer to the table in a form of a business meeting, and this is a fantastic value addition for you to look at in terms of expanding your business and finding new business buyers. So what's the process? Pretty simple. Our business meetings are fixed price based, so you don't have to really invest, you don't have to have big budgets. You only pay per meeting, and the costing is based on what region, what country that you're after. And you can start with as low as 10 to 20 meetings, and there is no initial cost for you to set up or IT, or you don't have to have your own marketing campaigns, marketing people doing this for you. It's a very, very straightforward process. What's the outcome? One-to-one business meetings via a video call for sellers with the target business buyers, hosted by one of our sourcing consultants. Now, the beauty of this meeting, we basically take care of the entire process from A to C. Now, we have our sourcing consultants. Now, they basically facilitate the entire meeting for you. So you're there in the meeting, we bring in the buyer into the meeting. If you need a translator, we've also arranged the translators, and our sourcing consultant is basically your single point of contact. So it's not just simply we schedule the meeting and we let you run it. We are there to help you. So let me explain you the process in detail. How does the O2O Connect B2B meeting process work? All right. So let's say, for instance, we have a seller or a supplier who wants to sell, let's say, organic coconut products, or maybe electronics, or maybe garments, maybe software services. So we basically carefully analyze your product portfolio, what markets you're after, and then we put your details into our system, and then our system will give our sourcing consultant a set of matching buyers. Now, that's what we say. The sourcing consultant contacts the registered buyers based on the seller's products and service, you know, characteristics. So our consultants would look at what buyers are matching your portfolio or your profile, and then they will basically reach out to these registered buyers. And then they will basically talk to the buyer with regards to your minimum requirements of your products, your specifications, and all those things that you have shared with us. Now, once the buyer is in agreement, the sourcing consultant will share the relevant details or email with the buyer and arrange for a time for a video meeting. All right. So then what we do is, once the buyer agree, we basically share the details with both the parties. And the last step, the O2O sourcing consultant will communicate the meeting details between the parties, and then we host the meeting. So you're basically looking at a specific targeted buyer whom we have already discussed your requirements prior to you meeting the buyer, and then we will let you know this buyer is interested in your products and services and he's happy with your terms and conditions, and then we would facilitate that meeting. Now, like I said, our sourcing consultant would be there in the call, and we make sure that proper protocols and the guidelines are followed during that meeting. You're free to present your products, do your pitch, convince the buyer, and then obviously we also support you with the follow-up meeting. So it's a pretty well looked after process, and we take care of everything from A to C. Now, the other part is, how do we manage these business entities, the business buyers that we deal with? Now, that is again an ongoing process. So we basically work with multiple networks. We have separate teams that reach out to business organizations in multiple countries, and then every day we talk to different companies, we talk to their procurement managers, we talk to their supply chain people. So the process, basically, we have dedicated client service teams that connects with business buyers around the world and have conversations on what they look to buy now and for future. So we keep talking to these buyers. So we are like their sourcing partners. We in turn offer them a free service of finding the right suppliers or right sellers who actually are selling products and services that these business entities are after. So it's more like a win-win scenario. And then the buyers with different requirements are then transferred via our CRM to the O2O sourcing consultants to understand the product MOQ, etc. So the client services team, when they talk to buyers, they actually understand their requirement. They get into our system, and then our system basically categorize these buyers, and the sourcing consultants would obviously use our data mining tools, and then they would look at, okay, ABC buyer is looking for XYZ product, and then the sourcing consultants manages the buyer relationship on one-to-one basis and ensure the best-in-class service and productive meetings are held. Now, once the sourcing consultants have this buyer information, then they will basically match that with relevant suppliers like yourself. And then at the end, we ensure a happy buying experience to all our buyers with our personalized service backed by the latest technology. So we are conducting this on larger scale on day-to-day basis. So we have separate teams sitting in multiple geos doing this as their key responsibility. So we make sure we look at different buyers. Now, maybe if you have a separate product that we have to go and look for new buyers, we would do that for you. So it's very specific for your product and service. You must be wondering, okay, what are our tariffs? So our pricing structure, commercial structure, is basically based on the buyer segments or type of buyers, which countries that you're really after, what regions. So now we have a very simple package, minimum quantity of 10 meetings. If you're openly looking at buyers, now our buyer profile in brief is like we look at a business owner, director, general manager, business manager, marketing manager, purchasing manager, or a category manager. So usually our meetings would go from about 30 to 45 minutes. Of course, you can have multiple follow-up meetings with the buyer. So we don't want to drag the meeting for hours, because obviously the buyers also don't want to put in a lot of time in terms of talking in the very first meeting itself. So our structure, if you're going with a standard countries, you're not specific about a country, we would start a meeting at a very low fee of about $59. So if you're looking at specific buyers from the Middle East and the Africa and the Asia, again, it's pretty much in around $59 mark. If you're looking at North, Central, South America, and the Caribbean regions, it's about $69. If you're looking at the Europe and the Oceania region, it's about $79. Now, terms and conditions are very simple. It's based on the MOQs as low as 10. So you start off with 10, and the meeting turnaround times will be 2 to 3 weeks from the time you give us the commitment. And our cancellation policy, then just in case if buyer does not show up, we would actually reschedule that meeting for you with the same buyer or a similar buyer. And just in case that you're unable to turn up and you don't inform us 2 days in advance, then you will forego 50% of your meeting fees. Of course, the balance 50% we would use for your future meetings. What you forego is basically car cost, and to then rearrange the meeting for you. So it's pretty straightforward and pretty seamless stuff. These are some of the screenshots of the meetings that we conduct in multiple geos. As you can see, usually it has 4 people if you have a translator. If not, it'll be basically around 3 people in a meeting. And this is where the seller, the supplier like yourself, is basically presenting their products on the video call. And then we have our consultant and the buyer and the seller in the video call. It's a very productive, it's a very focused, guided meeting. And then, of course, once the meetings are over, our sourcing consultants obviously support you with the follow-up steps as well. It could be email follow-ups, WhatsApp, WeChat, depending on what you and the buyer agrees as as a part of the protocol. So it's pretty straightforward, and we work with multiple clients in multiple geos, client from China, from Australia, from the Middle East, from the Asian region, and going into the African region. And like as I said, so part of our global connect is powered by DMS Australia, and we are an international world class sourcing trade facilitator for businesses, and we're happy to help. And if you have any questions, queries, I'm happy to answer, and we'll hang around for a while. And my contact details are there as well. And all of you that participate in this free workshop would have received a quick feedback form for you to share your information as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. And it's time for question and answers now. And yep, thank you so much. And I'm wishing you all the very best.